have to leave a legacy. The legacy of the book Voiceless. What are you trying to leave?
Well, like Linda was saying, honesty. There's a lot of stories in this book that just scream honesty. It's like, who would lie about that? You know, I'm not trying to make myself look better than I was. My childhood was rocky. My young adult and adolescence experience was rocky, but we survived it. You know, and when my children go through things, I sometimes have them read a passage of the book. One of the themes of the book is that inevitably your friends sometimes let you down. There's been an old saying, if you want to know who you are, look at your friends, or something like that. Now I always feel like, you know, I have to keep an eye on all my children's friends, because there's gonna be a friend that really, really means the world to them, and that friend will have a greater influence over them than the parent will. I already experienced this with my daughter. And we realized that it was one girl in her class that was getting her into trouble because she was kind of, you know, misbehaving, and my daughter thought that it was cool. She thought that her misbehavior was cool, and she became a follower. So we found out this girl's name, and we used her name around the house, me and my sons, in every derogatory way we did. Anytime anybody did something bad or ugly or dumb, we was like, oh, she's being a Keisha, she's being a Keisha, or whatever the girl's name. And we drilled it in Asia's head that being a Keisha is not what we wanted to be. Now there's a story in my book about when I was a teenage boy and me and my friends went boosting. We went to King's Plaza.
And now, well, hold on now, boosting for the audience. Because I don't know what boosting is. You were raising funds for a sports center.
We were shoplifting clothes from the mall because we wanted to dress fly, but we didn't have the money to pay for it, and neither did our parents. But what happened was, my friends and I got caught boosting. King's Plaza in Brooklyn, like a lot of malls do, they have their own security guard and their own jail cell right in the mall. So we sat in the jail cell, and they called a truant officer that was going to take us to the nearest high school because they wasn't really going to charge us with shoplifting. It was more of a truancy thing because we were cutting school. The closest school happened to be my school, South Shore High School. So what happened was, the truant officer picked us up from the mall, took us to school, placed us in the dean's office, all right? My two friends did not attend this school, but I did. And so what happened was, the dean was busy doing all of his stuff, and I saw an opportunity to blend in with the crowd and escape from the dean's office.
Excellent.
My two friends did not have that same opportunity because they wasn't as familiar, they were on visiting territory. So I left them in the dean's office. I dipped out, went to school the rest of the day, went home like it was a normal day. Now, about 4:30 p.m., things changed. My mom comes to me and she has the whole story, and you know, this touches on the discipline thing and the pushback. My mom realized that I cut school and went shopping, and you know, to keep it real, the story's in the book, my mom decided she was gonna give me a whooping. All right, and I'm not even gonna mention what she was gonna use. That's another story. But I, at 14 years old, was like, I am not taking this whooping. All right. So what happened was, I jetted out the front door. Now, if you ever been to Brooklyn in the projects, you know when you get to the front door, you don't just open that door. You got about 5, 6 of these things you gotta unlock before you get that door open. So by the time I did all that, Mom's was on me. It gave her time to catch up. She lunged at the door and slammed my left middle finger in the door, and my finger was crushed, and I needed to go to the emergency room and get stitches, and my finger's broke. It's still a little bit bent to this day. After things had calmed down, and we in the doctor's office, and I'm about to get my prescription and go home, she says to me, how do you think I found out about today? And I was like, I don't know. She was like, listen, you got away, right? How do you think that I found out? And I was like, I really don't know. She said, it's because your friends told on you. And I didn't know if that was true or not, but when she said it, I hadn't even thought of it, you know? But she said, listen, I'm on your side. I got your back. not your knucklehead friends. You know, and growing up as a young man, sometimes your friends are more important than your woman or your girlfriend. You know, they have these statements, bros before hoes and MOB and all this other stuff. And sometimes your friends are more important than your family. And so I think that young men need to realize that yes, we do need our friends, we do love our friends, and a lot of times our friends are good people, but our friends will let us down. Our friends are just that, they're our friends. But sometimes you have to prioritize and put other things above your friends, such as your money, your career, your education, your family, and your woman. Your lady, if she means that much to you, for you to make her your lady, she comes before your friends. I think that should be put on t-shirts for the young people to wear.
FOF, family over friends. We'll be right back.